Hey guys, so this is the problem from first round of DirectI's internship. Okay, so the problem is find number of subarrays with even sum. Okay, so let's say we have an array 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Okay, so um, the output will be 9. How is it? Let's see. Okay, so we know that this single element will also be a subarray, so let's say it's even, so the count will be 1. Similarly, we have another 2, count will be 2. Now we notice that this is also a subarray with even sum, so this will be counted, and this will be also counted, because, and similarly we get the 9, the output as 9. Okay, so how can we do that? It's actually pretty easy. What you need to let me give you a quick guide for it, for those who can do just by the hint. Okay, so let's say we have to do take prefix sum and do the mod with it. Okay, mod with 2. Okay, so suppose we firstly we get 1. So, and another thing that we know that suppose we want to do with any number. Okay, so this is equivalent to a mod m, okay, plus b mod m. Okay, so here's the thing, if you don't know, I'll just told. Okay, so for this, okay, what we can do is take the mod of 1. So what will be stored firstly is 1, then 1. Okay, so then for this it will going to be 1. For this it will going to be 0. For this it will going to be 0, and for this it will going to be 1. So like that. Okay, now we if you notice that we can also say that if the mod of this and the mod of this, okay, mod of here and mod of here is same, so if we subtract it, so this whole array will be having a even sum. Okay, let's try to figure out. Okay, so let's say we have got the mod is 1 here. Okay, now how is it going to be 1 if the mod is not 0? Then how it's going to be same? Because you know that from here to here, if you're shifting, definitely here till here we are getting an odd sum. Okay, from the 0th position we're getting the odd sum. Okay, now here if the value is changing of mod, okay, so definitely we must be getting some odd number here, and 1 2 3 4, oh, 1 2 3 4, and yeah, and we are actually getting it. Okay, now if we see, okay, from here to here we are taking 0. Okay, let's take this as index 1, and so this will be a at index 1 and this will be at index 0. Okay, so we are just assuming that the sum there was initially no subarray. Okay, so definitely some will assume that it was 0. So we can say that from 0 to 1 the sign is changing, the value is changing, so we must be getting an odd value. Okay, now if we are getting a similar value, so that means definitely uh, we must be getting an even value. Okay, like here. So that's why if here here we are getting a same value as this, because the sum at the sum of values at this position was actually even. That's why the mod value is just being carried here. Okay, that's why if we see 2 2 is uh, is actually uh, 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 a sub array with even sum. Okay, and now here it's the sign is changing, so we here we are getting an odd value. Okay, so here we see if we take here 0. Okay, so here till here we are actually getting an even value. Okay, even sum. So we actually subtract this with this. Okay, so here till here we the sum is actually even. So suppose till here, that means just counting this value, this the sum is actually uh, odd, and if we are taking till here, so that doesn't count till here, that counts till here. Yeah, that counts till here. Okay, now if we're subtracting this with this, so that means here just this value. Okay, so if we are subtracting this with this, so actually it's going to be odd, because here you see that like this we are considering then this array, but we actually have to consider this whole array. So actually here is the point. Here we have got another value which is having a value 0. We are just assuming it for clarity. So we see that, so this whole array, basically this complete array will have an even sum. Okay, so I think we are clear here. Okay, what we are doing. So what we can say that uh, if suppose the array name is like mod. Okay, mod. So if mod we are just naming one position as I, and another position j, given that I is not equal to j. Okay, so if this is the case, so so the subarray, we say that subarray, okay, I will be our one subarray with even sum. Okay, or like this, if I is greater than j. Okay, okay, so like that. Okay, so what we can say from here is that we actually going will be using handshaking formula. Okay, the formula is actually pretty simple. this, it actually means like there are n people, okay, n here, okay, okay, and like this is shaking hands with all the other, okay. So how many total handshakes will be there? So it will be n, okay, n into n minus 1, because this guy will be shaking hands with everyone, this guy will be shaking hands with everyone, okay, like that. But here's the case that this is shaking with this n minus 1, this is shaking with this, okay, like everyone, this is shaking with this and all other, okay. But what we see is this is shaking with this and this is again shaking with this, okay. So that's not true, okay. So that is absurd, that this is shaking with this and this is shaking with this, so we are counting it separately. So that's why we are dividing it by 2, okay. You can read more about handshaking formula if you want to over the net, okay. So so we are going to apply same formula, okay. So let's say uh, we have an which we have an array, okay, count, okay, count, okay. This will this with an array size of 2, okay, with an array size of 2, which will initialize with 1 and 0, okay. So the count value initially is 1, and count 1 value is actually initially 0. So 0 is like here how many zeros we are getting, and count 1 is actually how many ones are we getting. So initially this is 0 and this is 1, and you must be wondering why this is 1, okay. So like I just told you before, that by default we are considering we can say that by default we are considering the empty subarray when there was no element as an even, that is 0, the sum with having I mean the subarray having mod 0, okay. So that's why by default we are considering this as 1, okay. And you'll see that this is actually this might be confusing, but you'll actually see that this is actually this because of this only this will give a right, the our answer will be right, okay. So now using this formula, so suppose here how much zeros are we getting, okay, 1, 2 and 3, okay. So the formula will be applied like this, plus how many ones are there, 1, 2, 3 and 4, okay. So that is 4 by 4 into 3 by 2, okay. So we cut it, okay, cut it to 2, and you see that the answer is 9, okay. So now this is actually, the problem is actually available at Geeks for Geeks, if you don't know about it, okay. And you can Google it, this question, and I'm sure that this you'll get this link, okay. It must be first, second or whatever link, okay. But it must be on top, okay. But if you don't know, I'll provide the link in the description, okay. Thank you guys.